In this VTM, what we're going to be talking about is character animation. Now, the goal is to get the character that you should see on the right to hop into the vehicle that we have on the left. Now, it's going to be really, really cool, not just simple animation. He's going to hop and grab onto the bar and swing himself over and hop into the seat. It's going to look really, really cool. And my name is Joel Van Enwick, and I'm just going to be the guy on the side trying to add as much useful information as possible. Now, the main guy that's going to be doing the driving is my good friend David Aguilar. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. Why don't you give us a quick introduction on how our character is set up so that we can go about animating him?
All right. Our character right here is set up with Maya 5 IK. Now, as you may know, the IK in Maya 5 is FK IK capable. If I zoom here right here into my IK handle, you can see the little attribute that's called IK blend.
Right.
Now, this attribute right here, if you switch it back down to 0, will turn off the IK handle so you can animate the bones in an FK manner.
Right.
Which is pretty cool because you can switch back and forth from FK to IK. Now I got an IK handle running, as you can see, from my shoulder to my wrist, and from my wrist to my hand.
Right.
Now, what would I do that? The reason I would do that is because I want to be able to lock my hand to position. Now, what I did, I grouped both IK handles in the wrist and the hand into one single node that I called I hand.
Right.
Now this, I'm sorry, I meant to say left hand. I'm sorry. And this group right here will allow me to just move it into any position right there, and the hand will stay locked. Okay.
Right. And that can actually be really, really useful, especially when we want to go about switching our hand over and swinging over the bar. His hand is going to be locked into position. That's going to really, really help us out.
Exactly. Now this switch attribute that you see right here is what controls the IK blend on the IK handles. I did that by set-driven key. You can use the connection editor to set that up. All right. Both hands and both feet are set up in the same manner, which allow me to control every single one of them and animate them in FK and IK separately. I got some attributes right here on my
the main root.
In the root of my skeleton right here that will allow me to
and a lot more controls in the back.
Yeah, exactly. They are set up as with set-driven key as well, and they're pretty much just there just to simplify my animation. You can just set them up in any way you want if you know about animation and all that, and it's just about personal preference. Now, something else that I did, I created some character sets right here, and as you can see, I got solder, which pretty much encompasses a whole animatable character. I got root, which pretty much encompasses just the root node of the skeleton. I got back, which will only animate the back attributes that you see right here.
Back bend, back sway, and back twist.
I got left arm, which encompasses both FK and IK nodes.
Right, so it sets keys on all the necessary things encompassing FK and IK.
Exactly. Right arm, left leg, and right leg. So all this will be used to set the animation, to go ahead with the animation. Now, the animation will consist of the character stepping on the side step of the Jeep, as you can see right here. Let me just go to the shade mode. He's gonna set a foot right there. One hand, I think it's gonna be his right hand. He's gonna be on the side of the Jeep. He's gonna push himself with his feet, grab himself to the bar, swing around, land in the seat, put his hands on the wheel, and just drive off.
Hey, sounds cool to me.
All right, let's go. Is that a wrap? All right, let's see how it went.
Alright, in this lesson, what we're going to be doing is setting up the basic poses for our animation. Now, there's going to be 3 basic poses. The first one's going to be the character stepping onto the side step. The second one's going to be the character swinging up onto the bar and over. And finally, the character sitting down into a comfortable position. So, take it away, David.
Alright, the first thing I want to do is come here to the range slider and bring down my range to 55 frames. Now, why 55 frames? Because our animation is not going to be that long. And 50, 55, 45 is going to be pretty much our range. It all depends on your timing and how fast you want it to go. So you can always adjust that, but right now I just want to work with 55 frames. Alright, next thing I want to do, come here and pick my
character set.
Character set solder, which pretty much, encompasses every single node that's going to be animated.
Single attribute.
Well, the nodes have the attributes that are going to be animated, but thank you very much anyways. Yeah, exactly. It's going to have all the attributes that are going to be animated, and they're all displayed by yellow. All the objects are going to be animated. Have the yellow
Color to him, yeah.
Color to him. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to set a pose at frame 0. Now, why am I going to do this? Is because I want to have a default pose I can go back. It's just something as a reference. Something's going to be there.
Right.
So, since I got see soldiers encompasses everything I'm going to animate, I just press S on my keyboard, and a keyframe is going to be dropped on every single one on my attributes. So that gives me a total of 94 keyframes. So now, with that set, I'm going to come here to my range slider again. I'm going to set it down to 1. Now, why 1? Because I don't want my 0 to be displayed. I don't want to come here by mistake and set a keyframe as 0 and ruin what I already have saved. Now, let's go for our first pose. I'm going to come here to frame 10, and I'm going to pose my character stepping on the side step. First thing I want to do, I'm going to come here and turn off my IK, because when I move my character there, I don't want him to twist around into weird positions or nothing like that. So I'm going to come here and turn them all off. I'm going to select my character, I'm going to rotate it around, and nothing is going to stick behind. Alright, moving forward. Now just these purple lines sticking back, those are the IK handles. They are turning back because we have them turned off. Not turned off really, but more like
disabled.
Switched off for a second while we do some animation. Alright. By the way, that's something that's very nice about Maya 5, that you have the FK, IK capabilities directly. Most of the time you need to fake them. In Maya, you can just switch them on and off. Anyway, so I have my character pretty much roughed out where it should be at the beginning of the animation. I'm going to here select my left foot, the IK control for it though. And I'm going to move it up forward and up on the step. I'm going to move it out like that. I can't really see what position it is, but I kind of just guessing it should be like that. And then I'm going to bring its pole vector. Pole vector, of course, it's where my knee is going to be pointing, and I don't want my knee to be shooting down the back of his leg in a very painful position. So right here, I'm going to select the foot node again, left foot, as you can see. Turn on the IK.
Still looks pretty painful.
Yes, it does. So I'm going to just switch that so my friend is not suffering anymore. So his foot like that. You can just lean it back a little bit if you will, whatever, you know. Just a little bit. He's pointing out, his knee is pointing at the pole vector. Now he's got one foot sitting on the Jeep. I want to say his body kind of over that foot, because remember, he's supposed to be balanced. He's not going to be all leaning to one side.
That's right.
I'm going to bring this leg in a little bit because he's, again, he's trying to keep himself balanced. All right.
Plus he's swinging himself over at this point.
But I'm going to have to fix this later, so I'm just going to leave it alone for now. But anyways, he's got one foot on the rail. Not rail, side step, I'm sorry. I'm going to select my root node again, which is my biped 01. I'm going to bring him back a little bit and down. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make him bend forward a little bit. Keep his balance in. And then I'm going to rotate him. Rotate him. Where's the rotate tool at? There it is. And I'm going to rotate him out like this a little bit. I'm going to come here wireframe mode because I want his hips to be kind of shifted sideways. He's putting all his weight on that foot and he's ready to spring out. So, his hips are going to be working as a lever,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay. It's just, I was doing a little bit of a dancing move here, so I kind of look weird.
Yeah, unfortunately you guys can't see it.
Yeah, but it was kind of funny. It was people here in the background laughing. And, so, twist it forward a little bit because he is going to try to reach the Jeep with this hand right here. Matter of fact, he will reach the Jeep, but not on this frame. He's going to be doing it later on around frame 15 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So his hand is kind of reaching forward. He's twisted out a little bit. And you know what? I'm going to lean him forward a little bit more like that. Maybe trying to straighten him up a little bit and do the sway less because he's too exaggerated. I mean, it's a good thing to exaggerate when you're animating, but sometimes it's not such a good idea. In games, you don't really want to do much of that because it's a game. It's not going to be that much detail. It's not like Finding Nemo or anything like that. Can we say that on video?
Yeah.
All right, that's good. So here we are. Characters. He's got his arms forward. He's gonna with this hand, he's gonna grab that roll bar over here. So he's gonna be forward a little bit too. I'm gonna grab the head. Make him look where he's going. You don't want to having the surprises and find his face near the roll bar. Alright, I'm going to straighten out the leg a little bit more. I'm going to bend it a little bit in, the knee, because normally when when your legs up in the air, they kind of tend to bend a little bit because of the way the muscles tension and all that. I didn't make that up. I actually saw that on a book.
Sure you did.
Sure I did. And you better believe me, boy.
I'll try.
Alright, cool. And alright, we got the first pose set up, kinda. We just roughing it out. Remember, we can always come back and set them up and adjust them in case we don't like them or anything, needs to be accommodated or something like that. We want to press S on our keyboard, making sure that we got our soldier character set on. Press S, then again we got 94 keys, one for every keyable attribute. Alright, now we're going to go to frame 30. And we are going to have him swing around. So I'm going to grab my top node, which is my bipedal one, the root node, bring him up in the air, up forward,
Superman,
and on the side. I'm going to reset. Well, it's not really reset. I'm just going to zero down the attributes for the back, so he's straight, and I got a blank canvas to start on for the pose, if you can call it that. It don't matter. I'm going to bring him in a little more centered. I'm going to fix his leg, which is
pretty painful looking.
Yeah, thank you. Now, his foot is going through the rifle. That's not very important because he's normally going to be pointing onto the back. And like I said, it's a game, so things like that happen. I'm going to bring his IK for his left hand up and on top of the rail. Or bar, whatever you want to call it. I've probably called it like several names already. Switch my IK on. Now his hand should be posed on top of the bar. Remember, he's going to be swinging around the bar using his arm as a lever.
Oh, that's right.
I want to grab this pole vector that's back here and keep it close to his elbow. Remember, always keep your pole vectors close to your extremities. You don't want them floating around miles and miles away because they can get lost. They could be hard to find, and
that's bad.
Simply, you just want a clean workflow. You want them to have them close at all times. And there you go. We're going to just move the clavicle back a little bit, make this arm kind of swing back as well. He's going to be balancing himself outward. I'm sorry I can't speak straight.
Hey, you'll get it one day.
Oh, I get it one day, yes, sure.
Yeah, probably not.
And thanks for the encouragement.
Anytime.
And I'm going to make him sway in this way. Don't worry. I'm going to bring him back in again. So I'm actually going to do a little bit more. How about that? And remember, I'm not using any reference for this animation. I'm just trying to come out
with something fairly cool.
Yeah, I'm just trying to come up with something fairly cool, something that will be more gameish. If I want to make a realistic animation, I'll probably tape somebody doing it or doing something similar and then coming out with my own stuff. But most of the time, you can't have nobody athletic enough to be doing that because it's got stunts. So the whole point of the animation is to look cool and not super realistic. So there we are. We're going to make this legs come in. Remember, he's bringing his legs in to keep his weight near his center of mass so he can swing around. No, look at his feet. They're not going through the cannon anymore. They might go there, through there, but it doesn't really matter, It just
doesn't really matter a whole lot.
It doesn't really matter a whole lot. So I want to bring him in a little bit more so he's more centered toward the arm. Remember, that arm needs to be as close to the center as possible. I'm going to make the sway come out a little bit because I want that arm to be kind of bent.
Right.
All right. So our second pose, I'm pretty happy with it. Remember, you can always come back and fix them. So we're going to press S to set a key at frame 30. There we are. Scrub, make sure everything is in position. And thank God it is. And come here to frame 50.
And the final pose that we need to set.
And this is in the final pose. Thank you very much. And we're going to set, matter of fact, what I'm going to do, I'll just press Z for undo. Reset these guys right here. All the rotates. And I want to, put him on the seat. And he's right there, sitting down. Probably a little bit. It doesn't matter if he goes through the seat a little bit. Remember, he, the seat is kind of has a little bit of cushion, maybe, you know, and he's giving in a little bit. But it's a lame excuse, you know. But you know, if he goes through, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, there he is. Now I'm gonna make him look forward to where he's going. Forward, not down to the hood. And he's looking forward now. Now I'm gonna put his hands on the wheel. Bring that down, maybe up a little bit and forward, so the hand can grab the wheel. Now I could pose this guy in IK right now. I could just bring the IK handle down to the wheel and turn it on, and I'm done. But I don't know. I just want to do it this way. Now what I'm doing here, I'm pressing up and down on my keyboard with the keys, with the arrow keys.
To go up and down the hierarchy.
To go up and down the hierarchy, yes. And that helps me navigate my hierarchy instead of having to come here and pick upper arm, sorry, or my forearm or my hand. I just go up and down the hierarchy, select my, the node that I desire. This is very helpful if you guys think about it. You can actually even go sideways. If I come here to my clavicle and I press up, I go to my neck. If I press down again to go my head, I can just go back to my clavicle. All these guys are at the same level on the hierarchy. So just by pressing sideways, I'm going to one to the other one. If I press up, I can go all the way up to my root node. So anyways, I'm going to bring this shoulder pad down as well. Looks like the arm is stretched out too far, so I'm going to bring it in again. And his hand's going through the body of the Jeep. Now we're going to bring it up. I want to rotate the shoulder pad out.
Now, if you guys haven't realized yet, animation is not something that you just simply boom, 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 and it's done. It's a slow process of tweaking and getting it just right. I mean, it's not just a matter of poses as well. Timing is going to become a key thing very, very soon as well.
Yes. Animation is a tedious work.
But it is fun.
That's why a lot of animation people, is going into motion capturing, because motion capturing allows you to capture realistic animations from real life. The only problem is not all of us can spend thousands of dollars in a motion capture machine, or don't have the room or the equipment necessary to make it work. So
well, not every animation can be done with motion capture.
Exactly. You cannot animate fantastic creatures or somebody pulling a stunt like this either. So there we are. Okay, now he's got his hands on the wheel. He's looking nice. Now we're going to straighten out the legs. And I'm going to select the thigh. Bring it down a little bit. Remember, what we wanted to do, we wanted to go down through there. There's not a hole there, but we're going to...
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. You really can't see there. What we really want to do, we just want to see the foot. We don't want to see the feet sticking out the bottom or the top. So there you go. It's got one leg out. Rotate the thigh a little bit in. And I'll press sideways to select the other thigh. And I'm going to bring it... I'm going to see my wireframe mode. It's already pretty much up. So I'm just going to select the knee by pressing down. Bring the foot up. Press 5 again to see my shaded mode. And there he is, sitting down on his Jeep, ready to drive off. Before I do anything, I need to set another key, right? So I'm going to press S on my keyboard. And we pretty much have a wrap here. Now, before we go, I need to scrub my animation, make sure everything is fine. Always do that. It's a good workflow. And as you can see, right here, we got nearly our first pose at frame 0. It won't.
Right.
Then we come here to frame 10. He's got his
nice pose there.
He got his foot on the side step, almost reaching out the body. Then he's got fully up in the air, and then he's sitting down in the vehicle. Do not worry about the in-betweens yet. We haven't animated them yet, and we will. But the way we're going to animate it, we're going to be using breakdown keys. Now, breakdown keys will allow us to get the timing right.
So I guess with that, that's going to wrap up this lesson. So thanks, everyone. Alright, in this lesson, what we're going to do is set up the secondary poses for our animation. Now, just like in the last lesson, we're going to set up 3 primary poses. The character pushing himself up off the Jeep, the character up in the air where he's just pushed himself off the Jeep, and finally the character standing on the seat pulling himself down in. So with that, take it away, David.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is make sure the primary poses are there. So at frame 10, the first pose is there. Frame 30, second pose is there, and at frame 50, the third pose is there. So now, let's create our secondary poses. Come here at frame 15, which is again just magic number that I pulled out. And what we want to do here, we want to have the guy still standing at the side step of the Jeep.
Right, have a little bit more weight to that character.
Exactly. We want to have this right arm grabbing onto the side of the body of the Jeep, and this hand almost on the bar of the Jeep. Alright, so let's do that. Let's just bring him down. Before we start messing around with him, we need to come here and
select the correct character set.
The correct character set, yes.
We're not setting actual keys yet, but it's always good to make sure that you have it set up right. So
I'm going to bring him down a little bit. I'm going to kind of straighten him up a little bit. Remember, he's trying to twist in that direction because in frame 30 he's completely sideways. So there he is, almost straight. I'm going to zero out all the back attributes that I created because I want to create new values. I want to have him bent forward a little bit. I want to look at his back. I want him to be bowed out the opposite way, and that means I'm going to have to like rotate it a little bit out this way. Sorry guys, I'm using Wi-Fi mode. I know it's kind of hard for you guys to see, but anyways, all I did is just have the back bowed out that way and the hips kind of tilted that way. Okay, now that we have that, I want to just twist it just enough so both arms are about roughly the same distance from the body. Okay, next thing, I want to have the hand planted on the side of the body. So since he's touching the Jeep, I want to be using the IK handle because IKs are good for manipulating objects or interacting with other objects in the 3D world. Remember, IKs can lock into space. They can stay in one position. They can dock. So that's pretty much what I'm going to use it for. I want this hand to be planted on the Jeep, not moving around and stuff. So as you can see, I set it on the Jeep. I'm going to get it closer to his body because he's going to be using it to push himself.
That's right.
I'm going to bring the pull vector because, again, keeping the pull vectors close to the extremities that they're controlling is a good workflow.
Yeah, it's always a good idea.
Alright, and this arm right here, I'm going to bring his IK handle forward. As you can see, it's kind of moving the arm a little bit, but it's not really doing a very good job. The reason is, as you can see on the switch, is because it's only controlling the arm.
To an extent, there's still a small influence of the IK on the FK.
To a small percentage, yeah. So I'm going to just set it close to where it's going to be, just to make sure it's alright. It's just there, you know. I'm going to bring his pull vector close, again, for good workflow. I'm going to set it real close to the arm. And I'm going to come here again to the IK controller. I'm going to switch the IK off. So the arm is on its own. I'm going to bring the clavicle down a little bit, maybe forward a little bit, grab the shoulder, up, forward, no, actually not so far forward, maybe just a little bit out, and maybe just rotate it out like this, like he almost has the bar but not quite. And he's got a hand planted, foot there yet, and then still, I'm sorry, and I'm almost reaching that bar. Now we need to make the guy look to where he's going. He's looking to where he's going now. Alright, there he is. Now, I'm not going to be pressing S this time to set a key. What I'm going to be setting a breakdown key. Now, a breakdown key, it's a keyframe that will keep a relationship between
the adjacent keys.
The adjacent keys. In other words, if I set a breakdown key right here at frame 15, then I come later and move the keyframe at 30 back at the 25, that keyframe right here, that breakdown key is going to move in a little bit, trying to keep the same distance between the two adjacent keys. It's a very good tool when you're going to adjust the timing of the animation later on, because it
maintains the relationship between the keys.
Yes, and it's
very, very important.
It makes it easier for you. So here we are. We're going to set that key by pressing Control Alt S, which is not really default in Maya.
And we just set up a custom hotkey. Very, very simple.
And you can see it right here. It says Set Keyframe Dash Breakdown. All right. So you can see it because it's symbolized by a blue keyframe in the time slider. So there you go. Kind of works just like a regular one. If you normally just kind of look at it like that. I mean, Boom. Do you see all this snapping right here on the arm? Don't worry about it right now. That's going to be, it's going to get refined as we progress on the animation. Right now we're just only worrying about this pose, that pose, and all the next poses we're going to be working on. Alright, so next pose is going to be him up in the air at frame 20. First thing I'm going to do is fix that arm.
That arm is definitely just a little bit disturbing.
So he's going to have his arm up in the air, like that. And then next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just maybe have to pull him back a little bit. Just slightly. Maybe just rotate him forward. Something like that. Remember, he's pushed himself up. Now he's going to pull himself in with the body into frame 30. Right now he just kind of just jumped. He just jumped up in the air, and now with his arm, he's on his might. He's going to pull himself in. So this motion is going to be a little bit more vertical than horizontal. So he's up in the air, kind of far away from the Jeep. I just made him kind of go far away from the Jeep, and maybe even a little bit higher, just in case. Now, next thing, a very important thing, I'm going to have this hand locked at that bar right there.
Right.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here to frame 30, and I just missed my post, and I'm going to scrub back to frame 20 with that hand selected. Come here to select my translate and rotate, and just do a breakdown selected key. So they just keyed that hand. Now that hand is staying locked, and right now it's kind of moving around because I got to do some. I got to change that switch to 1. So it's keyed. It's locked. Frame
Very
20
nice.
is locked. We're going to fix all that so it looks natural. Now, what I should have done before I went down and scrubbed that, I should actually keyed everything else. But I forgot to do that because, I don't know, I just had a little mental issues going on with me.
Well,
So,
it's not uncommon for you, so, we'll let it slide.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
So he is going to be up in the air. And don't worry about that arm. He's going to start trailing in a minute. Remember, in frame 30, he's going to be fully back. So right now, the arm is just kind of up in the air, going like, whoa! He is got the hand locked right there. Maybe I want to move that pole vector back right here. No, actually I don't. I want to keep it out here. And maybe just pull this guy back a little bit and out. I don't know, just kind of make it look nice.
Again, just lots of tweaking.
Lots of tweaking and lots of fun.
Just like modeling, it's a tweaking and tweaking process.
3D is tedious. Very, very tedious. It's a lot of work.
But it's a lot of fun.
The results are just great. Alright, so the guy's looking where he's going. He's up in the air. Maybe, just maybe, I want to make him a little bit more up in the air. But it doesn't really matter. I'm just twist it more, a little bit more, and I'm gonna come here and switch the IK completely off. Now that he got the IK completely off, I'm gonna bring this leg up. Remember, he jumped with that leg, so that leg is gonna spring up. So that leg is gonna be completely compressed now. Not into itself, but compressed. I'm gonna grab the other leg, and I'm gonna be swinging it out a little bit. Remember, he's got to throw his legs up in the air so he can so he will
push
use
himself around.
He uses the legs as a counterbalance, so he can just push some, he's using them as some kind of propulsion or something.
Right,
so
that's what you're saying.
He's up in the air, like right there. It's not the perfect pose, but it will do the trick. So again, I'm going to press Control Alt S, and that's going to set a breakdown key in all my channels. So as you can see now, he's just going up in the air.
Well, it's looking a whole lot better already.
And all the snapping, remember, all the snapping is going between the keys is going to get fixed later. Right now, we're just worrying about the poses. And sometimes even the betweens get fixed by themselves, as you can see right here. I mean, that pretty much took care of it.
That's pretty much it.
I have to do nothing at frame 25 and all the way to frame 45. Because at frame 40, if I do something at frame 45, it's going to get fixed. So, last pose that we're going to hit is at frame 45. Basically, what we want to do to him now is I just want to have him straight. So I'm going to zero this as out, the rotates channels again. I don't want to do nothing to the back controls because he's still in the motion trying to get himself straight on the seat. I may just bring him out a little bit, so give some room to the arm to get in, back in. This hand, all it needs, as you can see, is just to be brought in so it does not hit the bar. Maybe what we want to do is just kind of just move the body back a little bit, so he's kind of leaning back.
Right.
And the legs, they may need to be straightened out like this. Remember, he doesn't. Oh,
right, I see what you're saying.
I think I moved the spine, didn't I?
I don't think so.
No, I did actually move the right thing. Okay, that's good. Just checking. It's always a good thing to double check. So now we just move the legs down. Make sure the legs are straight.
So now he's just getting ready to sort of push himself.
He's kind of just slide himself in. He just kind of just slide in like in 1980s movies or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they can't really see your hand gestures.
Like the Dukes of Hazzard or whatever.
Yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah.
Sorry, I mispronounced it. I'm gonna turn this off.
So you can have a little bit more control over it.
I'm gonna move the arm in. Now he's dutching the bar now, trying to get his arm into the Jeep without really
hitting it
or something like that. And arm is in, legs are straight, body's looking forward, everything is looking pretty nice. And I'm gonna dare and set a breakdown key now. And if I scrub my animation, dude is like up in the air, he lets go, and he falls in. We're going to come here later in the next lesson and make that arm stick to the bar a little bit longer. And as you can see from frame 45 all the way to frame 50, it's all nice.
Very nice.
So if I scrub my animation completely, we have the way there.
Alright, so I guess with that kind of wraps up this lesson, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Alright, so what we covered is basically having our secondary poses like we had before. We had 3, character pushing himself up from the Jeep, having the character up in the air, and finally having the character standing on the seat. So with that wraps up this lesson. Thanks, everyone.
Alright, thanks you very much.
Alright, in this lesson, what we're going to be doing is refining our animation. Now, this is one thing that's a lot like modeling, like tweaking your models out. I mean, it's a long process. You can tweak and tweak and tweak, and, well, it can last forever. But there are some major issues with our animation here. We have some popping near the beginning. We have some parts where he seems to be floating in the air, and these are some things that we definitely need to change. So, well, David, go ahead.
Alright, first thing we're going to do, you just scrub through it.
Or scrubbing through the animation.
Sorry, guys, I just have some problems trying to speak sometimes.
Well, we know that.
Thank you. Anyways, we're going to scrub through the animation and make sure we can find the spots where the animation needs some tweaking. Now, remember, from frame 1 to frame 10, we're not going to be really seeing the animation, so we don't really need to fix it. Come here to frame 10, and then we can start slowly
really
checking it out, scanning it out. So we come here and we see some popping on the arm.
The right arm is really messed up.
So we need to fix that. But let's just continue on, see where else we need some help. Don't worry about the hand going through the bar. It's going to happen so fast you're not going to even nobody's going to notice it. But we can come here and fix it anyways, regardless. All right, so he's up in the air. His knees are going through the car. He's up in the air. Nothing major. He's kissing. His hand kind of leaves the bar right there for a second. We need to fix that. He falls on the Jeep.
Right at that moment, he really did seem like he was kind of flying in midair.
Yeah, we'll fix that really quickly. But let's go to the first one we need to fix. We need to fix that arm. Now, as at frame 10, as you can see, it's all good. And at frame 15, it's completely good. It's just in between where it's all messed up. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that IK handle get there
really fast.
Ahead of time.
Right.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here to Character Sets, select my right arm, and I'm going to come here to frame 15, middle click, drag to scrub, and I'm going to come here to frame 10, select on my Transcendent Rotates, and set down a breakdown selected key. Breakdown key, I'm sorry. And as you can see, the thing is already waiting for him. There's no more popping.
Ah, very nice.
And he grabs on the side of the Jeep and he just pushes himself up.
Ah, much better.
Now, at frame 20, that hand is up in the air, but as you can see right here around 16, 17, that hand is stretched out to the max. I'm going to come here to 8 to 17, switch the IK off already, breakdown selected, and
much better.
There's almost no stretch. There's a little bit, but not much. We can fix that by just moving the clavicle down a little bit. Remember, he's usually using the clavicle as a spring. So, breakdown selected. You're going to notice I'm using a lot of breakdown selected because I'm actually pinpointing the animation to separate parts of the body of the character.
Right, if you were to just press S here and set it for every single thing in the character set, you would get some pretty messed up and complicated animation curves.
Now,
that's bad.
As you can see here, part of our problem with the stretching of the arm is that the IK wants to go back to the beginning. That's due because when you set frame 30, that IK handle was at the right here. That was very bad workflow from my part. Sorry guys about that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this IK handle somewhere in this area right here, and I'm going to come here to frame 25, and I'm going to set down a breakdown key. So
just translate though.
Sorry guys.
I'm sorry. I'm just on rotate.
Yeah, sorry guys. I was meant to do it in both. So just doesn't really matter if I mean, it does
you
really.
can make mistakes, man. We understand.
It does really matter that you have to set it on both channels. So right here, as he goes up in the air, snapping changes a little bit. He kind of tries to go back, and then he just swings back out. That's due because at 20, he's still back there. So we need to move it. Remember, we're tweaking, so there's a lot of things going on here that we need to fix. So there he is. No snapping. How about that?
Hey, nice.
And now he goes up in the air very nicely. He just leans out enough to push himself out. Now you can put a lot more emphasis on that, by coming here, and no, it's actually, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. How about that left hand kind of penetrating the geometry a little bit there?
Maybe just move the clavicle down a little bit. Yeah, that's a good thing we need to fix. I mean, we need to fix that.
Like right there, he's like, hand is like totally through it.
But what's the first thing I need to do before I fix that hand?
You know what? I really don't know what you're thinking.
I need to come here and change my character set to the correct extremity. So come here and I'm going to find out what is going on here. Okay, at frame 15, that guy is kind of hanging around the area. There's IK's off. At frame 20, the
switch is completely set to 1.
Yeah,
then.
But you guys, you see the thing is kind of wobbling around the IK handle? That's due, sorry guys, due to the graph at the graph editor. You see the little bubble right there? That's what it's doing. So when I come here, select the keys, come here to select tangents, and select them flat. And that pretty much is going to keep that in place, or just keep it from wobbling. Now I'm going to come here in the middle, and I'm going to do some kind of nasty stuff here. Just stuff, that just quick, like a little quick patch. Trying to see if I can just pose this thing around by myself. Maybe just kind of move that thing around a little bit, rotate the arms. Remember, right now, the arm is being
deformed by IK.
Is being governed by the IK and the bones themselves. So whatever I do is going to be crazy. Now I'm going to set a key on the whole arm by pressing Control Alt S, and that just still a little bit of pen fishing going on there, but he's grabbing the bar very nicely. And maybe what I need to do right here, 15, is just kind of just bring that arm up. And he does not go through it anymore, but he kind of just, his fingers kind of crash a little bit against the side. So maybe,
so many ways to fix it.
Maybe I kind of want to make this happen a lot earlier. So I'm going to come here to the translation rotates. of the IK handle, of the IK group, to the key there. So it happens a lot earlier that he grabs the bar at 17 at 20. So we don't need the keyframes there, but we're going to leave them there just because, they're not
just
really
for
bothered.
good measure.
There might be something there we don't know and we don't want to delete it. So if it's working, if it works, don't fix it.
That's right.
So he grabs out the bar and he just swings around.
Hey, much better. I like that.
So puts one hand up in the Jeep, puts the other one up, swings around. Up to this point, it's all good. Up to that point right there.
So now it kind of starts to lose it a little bit.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to switch to the root character set. Select my root, and I'm just move the sway around to shorten that distance. Actually, I'm not going to use the root. I'm going to use the back, which is sub-character of the root sub-character. So that way I'm only laying keys on the back attributes. Right. So I'm moving down a little bit, Control Alt S. As you can see, the arm takes a lot longer to get separated. As you can see, the arm gets separated because at 45 there's no IK anymore controlling it. So what we may want to do is just kind of make that IK govern that arm a little bit longer, maybe up to 40. Do you think that would be a good idea, or a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
How about 40, 42?
Right.
42 would be a better idea. Okay, we're going to come here to 30, go to 42, and before I make a mistake, I need to come here and change my character set to the left arm. And that's the correct arm, right? Yeah, that's it. And I got the switch on right there, and I just breakdown selected.
That's just for the switch, though.
Yeah. Now, why did I just do it on the breakdown selected? Because I may want to do this. The hand is twisted in a very weirdly manner, so what I may want to do is come here and just rotate that hand a little bit, like he just kind of gave a little bit. So I'm going to come here to the rotate channels, maybe just rotate that hand out a little bit, and set a breakdown key right there on the rotate channel. So you just kind of rotate a little bit, make sure he's not twisting his hand too much. Kind of gave in a little bit.
Right.
Now, right there, he overstretches a little bit more again. You guys see that?
Right, definitely.
I'm going to come here to my back and just add a little bit more sway.
Just kind of lean on the arm, just a little bit more.
Breakdown selected, just to that guy. And he pushes his arm back into safety, and he goes around the bar. And
much better.
Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that arm pad kind of look like he's trying to dodge the bar. So I'm going to come here to the left arm again. And right at
don't go too fast.
47, rotate it up. Rotate the shoulder in. And just going to set a key on this one, this guy, breakdown selected, and on this guy, breakdown selected. It looks like he just kind of dodged the thing a little bit. Now I'm going to put a little bit more of the sway on the back, so he looks like he's trying to dodge it with his back too, with his whole body. You don't want to have the shoulder pad get stuck on the bar. So right around 47, 48. Actually 47, because at 48, he's going to be doing some other things. Sway, it's going to be a little bit more stronger, and a little bit more stronger, which is very redundant, sorry. And he just goes around, dodges the little bar, and he lands on this.
Hey, very, very nice.
Buttocks.
I'm really liking that.
So the character grabs on the Jeep, steps on the Jeep, grabs on the Jeep, reaches out, grabs the bars, pulls himself up and in, kind of goes to the top of the jump, then he just swings around and falls in. Now, this shoulder right here, elbows pointing out the wrong way. That's very simple to fix, right? Really, that's just the pole vector. So we're going to select the left arm again, and make sure we catch the little punk, and put him back
into position,
into place. Something around there, and matter of fact, I want to go into some good place. I'm going to come right here, boom, down there, and since I'm at 30, guys, I'm at frame 30, So instead of pressing Control Alt S, I'm going to press just S to set a key. So it's doing the thing again. So I'm going to move him back. Now this time I'm pressing Control Alt. No, I'm just going to breakdown selected. It's just a matter of choice whether you press Control Alt S to drop keys on the whole thing,
a whole character set that you have selected,
or you just select the attributes that you want to set the keys. It's just a matter of what you want to do, or you want to.
Depends on the situation, really.
Yeah, also depends on the situation and what are you doing and how refined the tweaking is. And as you can see, the hand is kind of just squeezing out pretty badly. We need to fix that really bad. Maybe just bring it out a little bit, give him some more room to relax. Now the reason why it's twisting like that is because the way the character was rigged up was for simple animation. If you really didn't want that to happen, you had to add some extra bones and do this kind of weird setup where a bone will take all the twisting for the forearm and all that. But this is just a game character, so none of that is happening. So we need to try to keep stuff like that in mind to the minor. Well, we're still doing it a little bit more, so maybe you just come here to frame 30, do that, and then again, I'm going to just try the regular key selected. He just comes around, lands, slides in.
Much better.
Now the head, right here, is looking out, kind of weirdly. I'm going to select the regular soldier character set because the head doesn't really belong to any of the character sets, and that's just because we forgot. And yeah, I just want to it's an excuse. Sorry guys, we forgot to put them on one of the sets, and subsets, matter of fact. So he's gonna be looking down, and so we don't drop keys everywhere else. Select it. We're gonna select the keyframes and just key selected. So he's looking. Actually, no, breakdown key select.
Yeah.
Sorry guys. It's going to be breakdown selected. So he's looking down to where he's going to go, making sure the coast is clear. So it goes in, and he's looking out. Now, before we go, I may want to make him bounce a little bit when he lands. So I'm going to come here to root, and he lands on his butt, and I want to just kind of bounce a little bit. So I'm going to come here a few frames after 50, maybe 55. I'm going to just set a key on the translates, key selected, and I'm going to come here to 53. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 53. Bring it up a little bit. Yeah, too much, just a little bit. Key selected. Now, why I'm using the regular keys, because, I just want to, this is just like a regular thing at the end of the animation. It doesn't really need to be time or anything. You can just leave it alone. So, he just comes in and bounces off a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit more natural motion going on.
We don't really need it, but it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
Now, before we do anything else, I want to get myself away from the character sets, and I'm just going to just hit play. But before I hit play, I make sure my playback speed is at real time, 30 frames per second. I'm going to hit play and see how it looks. Character jumps and swings in. Now, notice at the top of the swing, it looks kind of weird. He just kind of goes up and then back in. He just kind of doesn't do it very well.
Not very smooth. Not
very smooth. It is kind of smooth, but we still we can tweak it up a little bit more.
Right, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So we're going to come here to the graph editor by pressing the button right here, perspective graph editor. And we're going to just, without any character set on, so we can just animate the curves freely. Select the root again. Actually, I already had it selected, sorry. Come here to the translates, and look at my curve. The graph editor can be your friend. It may be a hard friend to understand, but it can be your friend. It tells you everything that's going on in a graphical manner. Easy for your brain to understand. Maybe not you, but maybe your friend, maybe your brain can understand it. So what I'm going to do is just adjust these curves a little bit so they look a lot more fluid. Not fluent. That'll be me trying to speak English, not very fluent. So there you go, guys.
Or I may even be able to just delete that keyframe out altogether, and
maybe I could, but I just want to leave them alone. The problem is up here. Maybe what I want to do is just make him float a little bit more.
Right.
And maybe not fall so hard. So I just want to just maybe make him float a little bit more.
Ease into it a little bit better.
So I'm going to come here, select that key, and I'm going to come here to key and free tangent weight. You see my little handles changed. Now I can pull them out and apart. And that'll keep the floatiness a little bit more. I'm going to come here to my rotates. I'm going to look at my rotates a little bit and see what they're doing. You see, you guys, they're kind of peaky. They're not really, they peak out too much. They're not really like smooth. So I'm going to come here and try to smooth them out with my handles. I'm trying to just make them more fluid. Like I said, the guy doesn't really need that much tweaking. Sometimes you may need a lot, and you're trying to keep this curve smooth. As you can see right here, I have a little lump. I'm just trying to see if I can fix it.
And surprisingly enough, small changes like this do, in fact, make a large visual change on your animation.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Thank you. They do. So now if I hit play, see, it looks kind of weird. My guy kind of does. Looks weird. It looks very soldier-like when he's falling. Yeah,
but you know what? I think we've definitely shown pretty much enough way to tweak things.
Let me just do one more thing, and we're going to call it a wrap. I know what happened. The back never got keyed when we fixed it.
Ah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
That was fixed, remember?
Yes, I do. I do remember that.
So we're going to come here, and we're going to do the sway.
Just to have a little bit more weight on him.
And breakdown selected. I'm going to come here and do more sway as well. We can actually no, we're going to change that with a graph editor. So we're going to come here to my extra attributes, hit F on my keyboard to frame, and as you can see right there, that's the little change that we did, a little peak at 42, sorry. We want it to kind of be high value right there, so we're going to come here again to keys, free tangent weight, pull this guy out this way, maybe even center out. Something like that, and it's swinging around.
Yeah, much better. Without actually setting another keyframe, we actually fixed the problem.
Instead of adding more keys, we just fixed the problem by changing the tangent. See, the guy looks more like he's going up in the air, holding, and then he just falls.
That's right. I'm actually really liking that.
So
do you like the way it's looking?
We can tweak it even more if we want to.
Yeah, like I was saying before, tweaking animation is just like tweaking a model. It can be something that you could do forever and ever and ever. But you know what? I think we've shown pretty much how to refine an animation, what you would need to be looking for, and all that's needed to refine an animation. So I guess with that, that's going to wrap up this lesson. So thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks, everybody. And if you want to do anything else to it, you may just want to bring the legs down a little bit right around this point so he looks like his legs are dropping down. All right, thank you, guys, and
Alright, in this lesson we're going to look at basic ways in which we can adjust the timing of our animation. This is very important when you start creating your own animations. So with that, David?
Alright, the first thing we're going to do is try to select all the animated attributes that we have in our character, everything that moves the character around. The reason why is because we want to move them all at the same time. We can also change the timing of them separately, but in this case, we're just going to move them all at the same time.
Just as a demonstration.
Yes. So what we're going to do is come here to character set members and select all the character set members that belong to soldier. Now, as you can see, I did not select the soldier character set, just what belonged to it. And our character's up in the air. Animation looks. Let's just play the animation to see how fast it's doing. Animation is pretty quick, it's kind of realistic. It's not very fast, not very slow. It's pretty good. Let's say we want to make it faster. Alright, so what we're going to do, I'm going to just change the timing here on my time slider. So I'm going to come here to around 5-ish. I'm going to press Shift on my keyboard, and I'm going to drag from here all the way to the end of my animation. Now you see it all turned red. You guys see that? That means everything that falls inside of this red will be selected and scaled or edited. So right here, I want to just go into frame 60 because I kind of went too far. There you go. You see those black arrows on the outside? These guys will actually scale my animation.
So kind of those are scale handles, if you will.
Yeah. If I just bring this in, I just scale my animation really shortly, and look at how fast it goes.
Wow,
that dude is like there in no time. All right, so let's just undo that, and my selection disappeared, which is pretty good because I don't really want to, I can just come here and do it again. It don't matter. If I use the ones in the middle, this is very neat. If I have this animation that's very, very nice, but I have it happening too soon,
right?
And I want to have something else happen before that animation, I can come here to the middle and drag it to the back.
Right, just if you want to simply offset all of your animation.
Yes, you just offset the animation without really changing the timing on it. So if I come here to 120, so I can have enough room, and hit play, as you can see, it takes a while for him to get to the beginning, which is now frame 32. Then he just plays the animation at regular speed and lands safely in the seat. Now,
very, very cool.
What if I stretch the whole thing out to the point it's like very, very slow?
Yeah, definitely a lot slower. That is very, very cool.
Okay, something else you can do with this thing, you can come here and right-click. You can do a copy, and it will copy all of the animation keyframes in objects, and you can come later and paste and do a paste-to-paste connect. Now, we're not going to talk about those, but you can figure out pretty much what they do by their names.
Right.
And I'm going to undo here all the way to the beginning. First, I have my focus on my screen, sorry. And we are back into shape. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you guys is a dope sheet.
Dope sheet is cool.
I'm going to come here to Window, Animation Editors, Dope sheet, and it's open. Now this guy looks pretty dopish.
Yeah.
You may ask me. It's kind of hard to understand, but it's pretty cool. It's a lot easier to understand than the graph editor.
Well, basically all it is, compared to a graph editor, it's actually showing the values of each keyframe. In this case, all we're doing is showing where in time our keyframes are, which simplifies the whole process if we want to change the timing of our animation.
Mm-hmm. All right, what I showed you earlier, I move every single keyframe. I squeeze them in, I stretch them out, I move them around, and all of them follow along in the same manner. Now, what I'm going to show you here is the difference between regular keyframes and the breakdown keys. I'm going to come here and select all my keyframes at frame 30. You guys see that? They're all selected. Every single one of them. They all turn yellow. Now, my regular keyframes right here are being symbolized by the black or dark green squares. You guys see them? They're right here at 0, at 10, at 30, and at 50. And I got some more right here of the bouncing animation that we made.
Right.
So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just click here and drag them around and look at my time slider down below. The animation, the breakdown keys shifted. Do you guys see that? They shifted around. Now, they shifted towards my keys at frame 10. The keys at frame 10 did not move at all. Do you guys see that?
Right,
I can make the first part of the animation fast and the second part of the animation slow. That's the cool thing about setting key poses and then having in-betweens made out of breakdown keys in the middle, because you can
sort of segment your animation into various parts.
Yes, you can make one part faster and the part slower. Now, that doesn't stop me from coming here in the middle, pressing S instead of a real key and having only that section squeezed out, then coming here to my regular key and delete it.
Right.
So there's a lot of things you can do thanks to the breakdown keys. Now, these keys right here, if I come here and select these keys right here, you will see that the other keys is just completely ignoring the heck out of me. It's not doing any motion. It's not trying to keep any distance.
Right, because they're on the very outskirts. It's not really influencing any of the other keyframes.
No, not really. It's because it's not a breakdown key. It's just a regular key. So what it's doing is just ignoring me because he's doing his own thing.
Right. I mean, there's no breakdown keys in that area.
Exactly. Okay, that's cool. And now that you know how to move around your animation, you can make your animation faster at the beginning, slower at the end, or slower at the end, faster at the beginning. And that pretty much concludes this section.
Right. That's really going to wrap up how you can actually go about changing the timing of your animation, which is really an important part of animating in general. So I guess with that, that's going to wrap up this lesson. Thanks, everyone.